Hey guys, welcome to this webinar all about the secrets to effortless meditation. I'm Cassie Cameron, the founder of Mind High Club and a certified meditation teacher. And you're probably here listening to this webinar because you found meditation hard in the past, or sort of thought, I'm not quite sure if I'm getting this or good at meditation, or whatever that is for you. I'm here to assure you, if you've had any difficulty in the past, it's nothing to do with your ability to meditate at all. It's most likely that you're attempting to practice the technique that was more difficult or advanced, or that you didn't have the right tuition and learn with the proper teacher. So, rest assured that's the case, nothing to do with you not being able to meditate. That's what this is all about. So don't worry, you can absolutely meditate easily and effortlessly using the right technique under the right guidance. And, if you think about it, there's a lot of misinformation out there about meditation and some myths and misconceptions, which is what I am seeking to really go over and tell you the truth about today. Meditation is for everyone. It's not for a select few. It is definitely possible to do it easily and experience all of the benefits. And I'm going to show you how today. If you had a sneaking suspicion that there's more to this meditation stuff and you really want to find out more about it, you're in the right place. And I can absolutely assure you that yes, you can do this, and yes, it can definitely be easy. So let's get into it. First of all, I just want to go over that my goal for this webinar is really to help three types of people. So either you're a total beginner and new to meditation, and you really want to understand where the best place is to start and how you can be successful with practicing the right technique. So we're going to address that. And another type of person that I'm seeking to help with this webinar is the type of person, maybe you, who has attempted to meditate or tried it out because you know the benefits and you know how good it is, but then when you've gone to try it, you've really struggled and you found it difficult, hard to shut off your mind, and all of those sorts of things. So we're going to cover how it is actually possible to meditate easily, effortlessly, without having to stop your mind, and exactly how to do all that. The third type of person that this webinar seeks to help with the right information are people that have actually been meditating for a while and are already established, consistent meditators who are seeking to take their practice to the next level and take it up a notch, take it deeper, and really amplify their practice of other techniques as well, make them more easy and beneficial. So the three main types of people with the main types of problems that we're going to address here today. Truly, the only way to experience really easy, effortless meditation and reap those really deep, transformative benefits are by practicing what's called a being technique. And a being technique in meditation is a technique which actually goes beyond the mind. So it's a transcendent practice that goes beyond the mind and moves the body and mind into deep state of rest, and expands the awareness, creating a baseline of awareness. So the only way to learn this type of technique really is with a certified proper teacher, one-on-one in person. And I'm going to give you all the information on that and how you can attend a course and so on at the end briefly. So first of all, how am I qualified to talk about this? Well, I have been meditating, every day, twice a day for many years now. And I've gone through a personal journey where it has truly, truly changed my life. It's really transformed me. And, I've been given this incredible gift, which I feel really compelled to share. So during this time, I've also become a certified meditation teacher, and it is my passion and mission and purpose to really share this with as many people as I possibly can, because it's truly impacted me on such a deep level. Briefly, just a bit about my own meditation journey before we get into it. At one point, I'm an entrepreneur. I was working absolutely ridiculously long hours. I had a hectic schedule. I was navigating lots of issues and also traveling internationally every 6 weeks. And, through this overwork and this period of absolute ridiculous schedule, I also lost sight of all the practices that had kept me grounded and really kept me sane. And I stopped looking after my mind and body, and that really ended me up in a bad place. So one day, it's almost as if I didn't notice it was happening. I woke up and I was absolutely burnt out, mentally, physically, emotionally exhausted. I had nothing left to give. I had absolutely no energy. I thought, how am I going to carry on like this? And it really had to reach that point for me to really wake up and realize something needs to change here. This is not a sustainable way of living, and I need to do something about it, So at that time, I was like, well, I can't exactly ship myself off to a retreat, right? I can't just escape to a yoga retreat. So what's a really easy way that I can begin to navigate my way back to healing of my mind and body? And, I heard really good things about meditation, and this seemed like the most obvious and easy thing to begin with. So that's what I did. I went and tried out lots of different meditation apps and, YouTube things, and kind of like looked around on the internet to see what I could do. And that was kind of good. I enjoyed it and I was interested in it, and sometimes helped sort of relax me and all of that. But the vast majority of the time, to be honest, I was so stressed that it was really difficult for me to sit down and sort of drop in and meditate. And I felt like my mind was racing, and it was just really difficult for me. But I still knew that there was something in this meditation, and I was getting a taste of the benefits. So I wanted to explore further. So I decided to do a bit more research and actually sign up to learn this type of technique, which I heard is great, this type of technique I'm talking about today, with a proper teacher. And then, to my delight and surprise, when I first learned this type of technique that I'm talking about today in this webinar, it was so easy, so effortless. I instantly got it, and really it was so deeply restful. I was just absolutely hooked. And, even the first few days, it was like a profound detoxification of years of accumulated stress and anxiety and fatigue. And it was really quite amazing. But then the next sort of roadblock that I encountered was, how on earth do I make this a regular practice? So I knew that the benefits really were in the consistency of it. So I needed to be practicing this twice a day. And I thought, oh my God, how am I going to do that? But my teacher had equipped me with the correct strategies and mindset and practices to actually be able to successfully make this a daily habit, which is really valuable. So what ended up happening was I committed to the daily practice. I never missed a meditation since. And because I did that, it opened up a whole long list of benefits I'd never even considered before I started, which absolutely changed my life. So I realized that before I had an underlying baseline of anxiety, and then after meditation, I now had this baseline of peace and calm. I woke up feeling happy and excited for the day ahead. I felt a lot less stressed, a lot more present. I was a lot more productive in my work. My connection and relationship to myself improved, and therefore my relationships and every other aspect of my life improved. And I felt like I was able to use my mind in a whole new way. My awareness was expanded, and it's like this whole new chapter opened up for me. So when I say it changed my life, I don't take that lightly at all. It truly did. And so that's why I'm here today and speaking about this with you, because I've had such a profound change in my life from doing this practice that I want to share that with you too. Okay, so, whatever your challenges may be, whatever your lifestyle looks like, we all have different things going on, but I can absolutely assure you, whatever's going on, that you can experience the same thing that I did. You can overcome the same barriers and you can get those results. And that's what I'm here to share with you today. I want to share with you another case study before we get into it of, I had a student who was experiencing significant anxiety to the point where she was, having panic attacks, and, she'd tried everything. She went and saw a whole bunch of practitioners, and she was sort of dabbling in a few meditation apps and things like that, and listened to rain sounds before she went to sleep. However, nothing was really cutting the mustard for her. So she decided to attend the course and learn to meditate with me. And she was so anxious on the first day to the point where she burst into tears before class. But within the first couple of days of the course, it's only 3 days, but she felt such a shift. She really felt such reduction in anxiety and stress. And because she committed to the practice, within a matter of weeks, she had reported that she was a lot less reactive, wasn't getting caught into drama anymore. She felt a lot calmer, a lot more present and happy. And that was just the first few weeks. So can you imagine the cumulative benefits, first few weeks, months, years, what that might look like for you? Really powerful stuff. Okay, so now we're going to get into the 3 secrets. Just a higher level recap on what we're going to cover today. Secret number 1, how to meditate easily and effortlessly. Secret number 2, how it's possible to meditate without needing to stop your thoughts, even for the busiest, most distracted minds that are filled with thoughts all the time. And secret number 3, the key mindset shift and strategies for making meditation a daily habit. Okay, and then we're going to quickly recap on, okay, how do we go and learn, course information, and plenty of time for Q&A for any questions you may have. Okay, cool. So let's get into it. Secret number 1, how is it possible to meditate easily and effortlessly? There's a big myth out there, as I've said, that meditation is difficult and meditation, requires lots of concentration and focus. This is absolutely untrue of this technique that I teach. In fact, it's the exact opposite. In a being technique, effortlessness is the key. So the less effort, the better. There's no need to focus or control or concentrate on any part of this technique. And that's the whole beauty of it. Because we're going beyond the mind, there's absolutely no need to try and struggle or any of that stuff, which I'm sure comes as a relief to you. And I know it did for me when I learned to meditate. And really, our culture is all about struggle and strive and control. And this technique is the exact opposite. That is how simple it is. And you'll learn that, when you learn the technique. So, for example, here's a case study. One of my students, Matt, is the typical ADHD entrepreneurial type. He's 100 miles an hour, non-stop, finds focus and concentration really difficult. And in fact, he used to say to me that he'd go into meetings, and if he got bored, probably gets bored within about 15 minutes, would actually walk out. So the last thing that he wants to do at the end of the day or beginning is sit there and meditate, because he just, the last thing he wants to do is feel like he's doing any work, and this is a common thing. But when Matt learned this technique, he was able to successfully practice it, really experienced deep rest. He absolutely loved it and just found it the easiest, most enjoyable thing in the world for him. And as a bonus, he actually noticed that it increased the way that he's able to operate with his eyes open, and increase his capacity to focus, and his efficiency and productivity went through the roof. So it really benefited how he was running his business. This is just one example of how people that find meditation traditionally or whatever they've been doing difficult can really easily adopt this technique and get some incredible results. Okay, so I know some of you may still may probably be thinking, yeah, but it's really hard for someone like me to meditate. I find it hard. I can absolutely assure you that if you were to learn this technique, you would understand the simplicity, and once armed with the correct, theoretical and practical knowledge of how to practice it, it's a breeze. It's effortless, it's easy, you go beyond the mind, and there's no need to focus or work or struggle with any part of this. Okay, and if you're thinking, yeah, but I really struggle to focus and concentrate on something when I meditate. There are a lot of meditation techniques out there, which are also beneficial, by the way, and I don't want to discredit or take away from any of that if you may be practicing a technique. However, I will say that there are a lot of meditation techniques where some people find it difficult as you're required to focus on the breath or focus on something. With this particular being technique, there's no need to focus or concentrate on absolutely anything. In fact, it's the opposite. So rest assured that you're not going to feel like you need to retain focus. And as a natural byproduct, as I mentioned with Matt, the nature of this technique is that it's going to train your mind to increase its capacity to focus in your day-to-day life, which is really, really a good thing. If you're thinking that, you know, a concern of yours is that you get bored when you meditate or your mind wanders, don't worry about that. With this technique, you're going to be equipped with the skills to be able to practice this and recognize that that's not a barrier. You'll understand the course, but if this is you, don't worry. Even the most distracted, short attention span sort of people really can effectively, successfully carry out this technique and experience all the benefits. Okay, secret number 2, how it's possible to meditate without stopping your thoughts or clearing your mind, even for the busiest minds. There is a very common myth and misconception about meditation that you're required to clear your mind in order to meditate. This is absolutely untrue of the vast majority of meditation techniques. There are some techniques which do this, but really it's a fallacy when it comes to this technique. With this type of technique, there's no need to ever try to stop thoughts, and thoughts are an important part of this technique because they indicate they're a byproduct of stress release. The mind is a thinking machine, and any attempts to stop it thinking can be counterproductive. So the mind will do what it wants to do. We're not in the business of trying to stop thoughts. We're in the business of training our mind so that we can harness its power and put it to good use. So, if I told you not to think of a pink elephant, what do you think you're going to think about, right? So we don't ever need to stop thoughts in meditation. You do not need to make yourself more relaxed or stop your thoughts prior to meditation. None of that. With this technique, you never need to do any of that. For me, I had a personal sort of, relief that I didn't have to stop thinking, and that was a real draw card for me with this technique. Because, you've had a busy day and you're full of thoughts, the thought of trying to clear your mind can seem impossible because for most people on this planet it is. And that's why this technique is so effective and so easy, and you can just sit down and just do it. For example, I once taught a very analytical minded, deep thinking psychologist, who is used to unpacking things and thinking critically, who really found it hard to shut her mind off. So found meditating a challenge in the past. But when she was able to come to this course and learn the technique, she really was pleasantly surprised with how deeply restful it was and how she was able to go beyond her mind without having to stop her thoughts. And it also changed the way she was able to relate to her thoughts in the day-to-day as well, which was amazing to see. So you might be thinking, yeah, but my mind never stops. My mind is always going 100 miles an hour. I hear what you're saying. I feel you. And this is a very common thing, especially, in this modern lifestyle. We have a lot of demands and our attention is so divided. We have a million things going on in our heads. But let me tell you that if that's the case for you and you're watching this, this is the perfect technique for you to learn. And there's no need to count that as a problem at all. It's absolutely perfect and you'll benefit from this technique even more. Okay, and you might be thinking, yeah, but it's really hard for me to sit still. It can feel really common to feel agitated prior to sitting down to meditating. If we're carrying a lot of busyness in our minds and there's a lot going on. But when you practice this technique, you'll notice that the mind and the body naturally settle. And even if you're feeling restless and agitated when you sit down, that quickly dissipates into a sense of deep rest. So nothing to worry about there. We've got you. Okay, and another one is you might be thinking, I've got so much on, when I sit down to meditate, it feels like all I can think about is what I'm going to do next to my to-do list. Is this you? If it is, never fear. Again, this is not a barrier to practicing this technique. And in the course, you'll learn how to effectively understand this process and navigate that. But it is absolutely not a barrier to this. And you never need to stop yourself thinking about that to-do list. You simply need to follow the instruction of the technique and it will work out just fine. Trust me. Okay, secret number 3. The winning mindset shift and key strategy to making meditation practice a daily habit. So, there's this old way of thinking, right, that we don't have time to invest in ourselves and time to invest in daily practices because we've got simply too much going on. But the reason why this is holding us back from our success is we need to invest in our mind, our greatest asset, and able to effectively use it and run our lives, right? This is the lesson I learned the hard way. I told you my story where that's what I wasn't doing, and that ended up in a bad spot for me. But when I actually committed to this daily practice, what I found was actually a lot of the stuff that I was doing was actually unimportant, the wrong thing. So meditation, because it moves your mind out of fight or flight and actually reduces your stress, you can more readily access the part of your mind, your prefrontal cortex, associated with logic, reason, decision making, and prioritization of tasks. So I found personally I was able to achieve a lot more and working on the right things in a lot less time and feel like I had more time to myself. So it was this really wonderful realization that just by trusting and committing to that, that was the result for me. So meditation is the type of thing where it's all very good and well to do it occasionally. And sure, you'll experience the benefit each time you meditate. But it's kind of like eating healthy or exercise, right? If you do it once in a while, that's cool. But you really need to be doing it consistently to really see the results. It's the same way as meditation. Think of it like fitness training for your mind. It's really important that for meditation we establish a daily practice. So there's been a long list of studies that have been conducted across several meditation techniques, and they've all coherently shown many different mental, emotional, physical benefits of meditation, including the physical benefits, including because you're releasing such deep stress, particularly with this technique, your cortisol is lowered, therefore enhancing the function of your immune system. You get sick less, you prevent disease. Also, you have a lot more energy. Your sleep improves. Even your blood pressure can get reduced. And there's other benefits such as increasing your dopamine and serotonin, your brain's feel-good neurotransmitters. More positive emotions are increased, such as, compassion and joy, and those more negative experiences that we have, such as stress, anxiety, and depression, are shown to decrease. We also improve our connection to ourselves and therefore our environment and the people in our lives, our relationships. Our cognitive function improves, our memory is enhanced, our ability to focus on things improves, and clearly prioritize and organize our tasks, our time management improves, and therefore our output, our productivity, our success improves. Our awareness is expanded, so things we weren't able to see previously become, available into the light. So, all of this is proven by research, but the thing underpinning all of that is the consistency of the practice. So it's essential that we make it consistent in order to experience this really long list of absolutely incredible benefits. So that's why, and this is what I personally experienced. We do this. The students that come through the course, I haven't had one person say that they regretted committing to a daily practice. There's absolutely no risk or downside to it, but there are so many benefits. I, even had a student say, what, usually I would be running out of the door and always running late, but when I make the time to meditate, somehow, even though I've spent more time, I'm heading out of the door early. You know, this is a really common thing that happens, like gaining time through investing time, you know. And then I had, you know, one of my other students, a really beautiful story is she had actually been so stressed to the point where she had high blood pressure. And she'd been into the doctor's office, and then just a week after doing the course, she went back to the doctor, measured her blood pressure, and it had come down to a normal level. So that's just one example to demonstrate how powerful this is when practiced consistently, right? So that's why actually a whole session of the course that I teach, pardon me, is oh my God. Let me just have a sip of water. That's why a whole session of the course that I teach is actually dedicated to strategies for making this a daily habit. There's a tried and tested strategies, and you'll be armed with all of that information. For this webinar today, I'm going to focus on the key number one thing, which is a mindset shift around time and prioritization and so on. Mindset around time and making time for things is the most important thing to wrap your head around. But rest assured, in the course we go deep dive into the strategies here. Okay. So if you're thinking, okay, if I invest my time in this, how can I be so sure that I'm going to experience the benefits you're talking about? You know, the answer to that is you simply need to experience it. It's like I could talk to the cows come home about all of this stuff, show you all the research, the data, the testimonials, the case studies, all of that stuff, but it's simply in the direct experience of it. So when you do this, rest assured, I have not had one person come back and say it's been a waste of time. And, you know, there's so much evidence to back this up. I would really give it a go. You've got everything to gain and nothing to lose. You know, some of you may be watching this and still be thinking, yeah, but I don't have time to meditate twice a day. And my answer to that is, you know, it's this really weird time paradox, as I said, where by investing time in this meditation practice, you actually gain time in this really funny way, right? So what happens is you invest the time to meditate, and that gives your system an opportunity to, you know, you stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. It moves the mind and the body out of fight or flight and into a state where you can more easily make decisions. Your logic and reason is activated in that part of the brain. You can clearly organize all of your tasks. You effectively manage time, and you become so productive. It's like upgrading your mind to another level, so you get more done in less time. And therefore, you save time and you have more time to yourself. And you've done that actually by investing more time in meditation. So it's this strange paradox, but it makes sense, right? You know, you're operating at a lower level. You're kind of maybe working on the wrong things. You have a sense of stress, so everything seems chaotic and like you can't get it done. When you sort of upgrade your operating system, it's from a whole new level. It's like you're upgrading to CEO level of managing the stuff. Makes sense, yeah? Okay, and so, you know, with time as well, you know, Einstein has described time itself as a persistent illusion. So time is really useful for us for planning, organizing, and so on, and it's practical. But when we create a state of being where we feel time poor, that's actually not often a reality. It's more of a state of mind and a state of being. And the degree to which we feel time poor is also the degree to which we are not living in the present, leading us to feel those same emotions that we're trying to counteract with meditation, you know, stress, anxiety, and so on. So there's two parts to that. It's first of all, wrapping your head around that fact and meditating, and then that directly making you more present, feeling less stressed, feeling less busy and time poor, and time finds its way to you. But you need to experience this for yourself. I know I have, and it's quite something. Okay. Another thing, you know, you might be thinking is, okay. It's a busy time of the year for me. I've got a lot of things on. I've got this event. Maybe after that, or maybe after this crazy time, I'll get started. But, you know, you and I both know that, you know, there's never a good time in life. Life is like this. There's always challenges. There's always things going on. We all have unique challenges that lead us to believe that we don't have time to meditate or that we're too busy. And I've heard this so frequently, I've now come up with a term called the busy disease. So in our culture, gradually we've become accustomed to describing ourselves as busy, as a way of measuring our success, and that our skills and our presence are worthwhile, we're valued, we've got a lot going on, and therefore that's our measure of success, and we wear this as a badge of honor. How much can we take on, and how busy and jam-packed can our days be? And that's what we've become addicted to. So think about the last time you were in the street and run into an acquaintance, right? And you both say, oh God, I'm so busy. Oh, me too. So busy. And that's what we're used to doing. But if we pause and think about it, it's less to do with actual facts. It's more to do, as I said, with the state of being, the degree to which we feel busy and overrun and exasperated is the degree to which we're not in the present, which is what this meditation cultivates within us. So it cultivates naturally a feeling we will feel less busy, but we need to do it to experience that. So another thing I just want to talk about is if you just did yourself a favor and do a quick Google search of habits of the world's most successful people, or if you Googled list of the world's most successful people who meditate, there's this really, really long list of, world leaders, CEOs, founders, musicians, athletes, heaps of, famous actresses and actors who meditate. And they've been doing so for quite some time. And, if you really think about thinking I'm too busy to do it, some examples include Bill Gates, Ariana Huffington, Oprah, Clint Eastwood, Kobe Bryant was on as well. There's so many, right? And if you put it into perspective, imagine you're Bill Gates for 1 second. Like, can you imagine your schedule? What you have to do, the demands, the scale and the scope of things. So there must be a reason why these incredibly successful, busy people are still making time to meditate. And that's because they've recognized that the benefits are there, and this is a worthwhile task that they need to prioritize and make time for. So this is a really interesting point to consider. If these really successful people are needing to operate at that level and they're investing in it, there must be something in it, right? And it's because you're able to upgrade your mind to operate at a higher level, and therefore you're able to achieve great things with a lot less effort. Right, so you might still be thinking after this as well, right? Like, I'm so stressed though, and the source of my stress is actually fitting all of this in, fitting these tasks in. So how can I make time for something else? And, this is a really common thing. But what I would challenge with that is actually once you make the time for it and prioritize it, then you'll naturally, as I said, see a reduction in the stress and be able to more clearly organize and prioritize tasks to actually reduce what's the source of the stress as well. It's just that initial mindset shift and commitment. Okay, so you might still be thinking, okay, it sounds good, makes sense, but I've literally got back-to-back meetings, I've got demands, I have kids, I don't get time for myself. Taught lots of different types of people, entrepreneurs, and also, mums. And it's one of those things, once you set the intention and make it a priority, you'll find that it naturally happens and has a way of making itself happen. We always make time for the things that we prioritize and that we really want. It's just a matter of recognizing what our values are and what are things that are important to us, and then making time for those things. Yeah. So one sort of thing I'd encourage you to do is, if you're feeling like I really don't know where the time's going to come from, is to go, all right, for one day, I'm going to account for each 20-minute block in the day and figure out, what did I do in that 20 minutes? Was there 20 minutes where I spent scrolling through social media or doing something else which I could have put into a bucket for meditation? It's really important and interesting when we actually break it down like that. Where does the time come from? Because time is the only thing that we all have common on this planet. Each of us, the thing that unites us, we have the same amount of time. We have different challenges, we have different resources and so on, but we all have the same amount of time. It's simply what we do with it and what we prioritize. So, to wrap all of that up, think about it like this. It's all about a mindset shift to initially get started. Once you shift your mindset and you build the habit within your subconscious, your conscious mind, it becomes such a natural default habit, and it becomes like brushing your teeth, right? So we don't think about getting up in the morning, having a shower and brushing our teeth. We just do it, right? Same with meditation. Once you build the habit, it becomes so natural, you don't even have to think about it. It's like putting on your shoes, brushing your teeth, that type of thing. And it's completely effortless. Just that initial, setting that up. And it's really easy once we wrap our mindset around it. So instead of thinking, how can I find time for meditation? The question really is, how can you not? Right? Our mind is our most important asset that's involved in absolutely everything we do, every moment of every day. It controls how we feel, our creativity, our output, how we experience life, right? And time is our most precious commodity. So think about your meditations as the most important meeting with the most important person in your life, doing one of the best things you can do for your most important asset that's involved in absolutely everything you do every single day, and you're putting your most precious commodity into that. So when we look at it like that, it's kind of like, go and meditate. But rest assured, if you're still on the fence about that and unsure about your ability to commit to this, don't worry. I felt the same, but when I went to the course, you're armed with the strategy and the accountability and the community to make it happen, and you will, and you can. Okay, so don't worry about that. But just some important points to consider. Right, so, now that we've covered, that meditation can be easy, it can be effortless. You don't have to stop your thoughts. And even if you have a crazy busy mind, it's completely possible to do. There are an amazing long list of benefits, and you know how you can go and learn this technique and how you can be equipped with the right strategies to make it a daily habit and be a success story. Do you think that this will work for you? Yeah. Right. So are you feeling excited about what we're talking about, or, maybe a bit overwhelmed? I've really tried to cram as much info as I can into this short webinar for you so you get the maximum value. But I'm just going to spend 5 quick minutes going over high level what's involved in actually learning this technique that we've been talking about in the course contents, right? All right, so really top line, the meditation courses are carried out in eastern suburbs of Sydney, Australia. For international friends listening to this, still get in touch, okay, and then we can talk about where else you could possibly learn this technique, because I really want you to learn it. But it's carried out beautiful location on the water, 3 90-minute slots and 3 consecutive days at really convenient times, that fit in after work hours or on weekends. On day 1, you receive the instruction of the technique, and then we deepen our understanding of that. Day 2, we further confirm that you have a theoretical and practical understanding of the technique, and then we dedicate time to strategy for making it a daily habit, which I've been talking about. And then on day 3, we further deepen our understanding of the technique, and then we deep dive into functions of the mind, being, and what that means in our daily lives. On each day, we'll be practicing meditation together. There's going to be review of the instruction and feedback, and I'm going to provide comments on your practice to really help you get it. And also there'll be plenty of time for Q&A. The courses are really hands-on and intimate, and you'll get lots of value and one-on-one time in them. Okay, by the end of the course, you'll be completely self-sufficient in the technique, which you can have for life. And you're really going to understand theoretically and practically how to do it. You'll be equipped with all of the strategies and knowledge about making this a daily practice and really experiencing the shift at the end of it. So, again, just to recap on the 3 really key types of people that this is suited for. First one, if you remember the case study about Matt, the really high energy entrepreneur type, that finds it hard to focus and concentrate and that type of thing, and doesn't like to work hard on stuff, perfect for that type of person. Or if you're more like my other student who's experiencing lots of anxiety, really overthinkers who are very analytical, deep thinkers that are prone to stress and anxiety, this is absolutely very effective for those types of people as well. And also for types of people like, for example, another case study student I had, Shira, is a passionate meditator. She was already committed to her practice, but really wanted to take things to the next level. When she came to the course, she was really able to deepen her practice and just take it up a notch. And she experienced such good results from it that now she incorporates this practice into her daily routine as well. So those, this course really, really is for everyone, guys, but it's really beneficial for those three key types of people as well. Okay, so you may be thinking at this point, all right, maybe I could find this online and kind of learn it from some app or learn it on the internet. The reason I would advise strongly against that, and why that's a mistake that's going to hold you back from being successful in this technique, is that this type of technique, although it's very, very simple, very effortless, very effective, right? It does require the instruction of an experienced teacher to deliver it in the appropriate way so you can practice it correctly, because there are some subtleties to it that you really want to nail, and it's really key to have that teacher to walk you through this process. I wouldn't recommend trying to find somewhere online to do it. I'd always recommend learning from a teacher. If you're going to invest time in really doing this, it makes sense to invest in properly learning it so you can be successful. So what do you get when you sign up for the 3-day course? Okay, so you get the course, 3-day course, where you're going to learn all of this stuff, be fully self-sufficient in the technique. You're also going to have access to a private Facebook community group of all the meditators that have learned this technique, so you can, connect with like-minded people. You can keep each other accountable and really in contact with, people just like you on this journey, which is awesome and so valuable. You also get free access to group meditations at any time for life that we hold. And also you get to stay in contact with me as your teacher for any questions or feedback about your practice, which is really helpful too. So with all of that, you'll be able to get the correct instruction that you need to be successful. You'll avoid any mistakes in your practice or wasting any more time on trial and error finding a technique. You're going to save money that you would have spent on apps and money that you would have spent on other things to help reduce your stress, because this is a really, really powerful, potent technique which you can use yourself, without having to pay anyone, and it's for free and it's for the rest of your life, right? So that's a really important thing. And you're also going to be connected with a community to stay connected with your practice and stay accountable, which is cool. So, given all of that, how valuable is that? So you have this technique which you can practice for life, and you've got all these strategies for making it a daily habit, really understanding meditation, how your mind works. Life-changing technique, that's that's priceless. Then you have this whole community and free access to group meditations, which is worth hundreds, if not thousands. And then you also have that one-on-one contact with a teacher, which is worth its weight in gold. But not to mention, you cannot possibly put a price on your state of physical, mental well-being, your reduction in stress, the ability to expand your mind and your awareness, upgrade your consciousness, improve your relationships, your health, every area of your life. If you think about that, you can't put a price on it, can you? So with all of that, you can't even put a figure to all of that. But I'll let you know that even for the course alone, there are lots of teachers out there charging over $1,000 for just the course. But because it's my true passion and my mission here to get as many people meditating as I possibly can, I'm only charging $299. And, for an extra 24 hours, because you're watching this webinar and you're still watching at this point, I want to offer you a 10% off discount using the discount code webinar10 for the next 24 hours, as a special gift to you. So, all you need to do is click the link below and you will be taken to, sign up. It's just as easy as that. So, at this point, you've got two choices. You can either stop watching this and walk away and go, you know what, thanks, but no thanks. Then you don't get any of the amazing benefits. Or you can make the choice to invest in yourself, your health, your well-being, your mind today, and really experience the shift. So, it's totally up to you. And you know what, I will say though, that is a really good price. And as you can see, the value you get is incredible. And it really does pay for itself. Because if you think about it, the meditation app subscriptions, what does that cost per year? So you've made your money back already just with that, and you have this technique for life. So yeah, and I don't want to put any pressure on you to sign up, but I will say that because we like to keep our courses really intimate and have really one-on-one quality time and contact to really ensure the best possible experience, we do keep our spots limited, which means that if you don't get in quick, we tend to really book out really quickly and far in advance. So I'd really jump on that and take advantage of the discount code too. So to recap, you get the 3-day course, you get access to me as your teacher one-on-one for any feedback, comments, whatever it is, support. I want to enable you as much support as I can. You'll be connected to a group of like-minded meditators that have gone through this journey as well, and also access to free group meditations. So it's a steal of a deal, you guys. So I'll leave it at that. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions at all. You can also book a free discovery call to learn more about the meditation courses, and if you have any specific questions, we'll be happy to answer those too. I'm really hope you enjoyed watching this webinar, and I'm so glad I got to share this with you, and I'm really excited for you to start your meditation journey. Okay, so don't be a stranger, and have an awesome day.